Let's go over our adaptation, natural selection, and selective breeding test review. Question 1 says, what is an adaptation? A change in structure or habits or behavior by which an organism improves its life. Remember, when the environment changes, plants and animals get mad. They migrate, adapt, or die. Number 2, what is meant by variation of a population or species? A variation is a different form or version of that type of animal. So the example I included was turtles. Some turtles being soft shells, their size, their coloring. In the picture, it shows you the eyes. So those would be examples of variation within the same species. Species being the turtle, and the variation is the differences between those turtles. Compare and contrast camouflage and mimicry. Camouflage is to hide or disguise, blend in with the environment. That is the key there. So it's the blending in with the environment. It's going to look very similar. And I included a picture of a lizard that you can hardly see hidden in the plants. But mimicry is it's looking like another animal or plant. And so, for example, this butterfly here is looking like some type of predator. Um, so they don't even think it's a butterfly to eat. We read about or talked about monarch butterflies and another butterfly that tries to mimic them because the monarch is poisonous to a lot of animals that try to eat it. Number 4, how do gills help fish survive? Well, water runs over the gills, and the blood in the capillaries of the gills picks up the oxygen that is dissolved in the water, and that's how the fish breathe. So the gills help them filter out the oxygen, um, and then they breathe. Number 5, why would humans have two different stages of teeth development? Well, humans grow, and as we grow, our jaws change. So we start out with no teeth, and then we have baby teeth when we start to, and then we start to eat simple foods. Um, and then as we grow more, then we get our permanent teeth. What are some bird internal and external adaptations? So I have them listed there. Internal meaning inside. So inside of a bird, we can find hollow bones, muscles to help flap the wings, heart that's built for all the cardiac workout that they have when they're flying and migrating, and a brain that tells it to migrate. External would be like the wings, the feathers, the beaks, the type of feet. Okay, you could also say coloring. That would all be examples. External, oh, and the eye placement. Number 7, study the image below. Why do the finches on the Galapagos Islands have different adaptations? Okay, so I included some information here that you obviously do not need to have, but I wanted to go over and make sure we're really clear. Remember, Charles Darwin studied the finches, and he looked at the beak size and the shape of the Galapagos finches. Each island had its own variation of environment. So they had different environments. Finches that did not fit the environment did not survive. Thus, the adaptation in the finches are due to changes in the environment and natural selection. Darwin studied the connection between beak shape and the different diets of the different finches on the island. So, remember, we read about the finches in class. I wanted to put that little piece kind of from the article there. But you should add something about the birds changed to fit the food sources on each island or their environment. The finches' main adaptation was the shape and size of their beaks. Remember, the different beaks allowed them to eat different things. Remember, a thicker, stout beak like this first bird would eat something like seeds and be able to crush things. But birds with a longer, slender beak are going to have more of ability to get like insects out of holes or um, off the ground. So just know the different beaks were caused by the different food. Number 8. What is selective breeding? Purposeful crosses of plants or mating of animals so that the offspring will have desired characteristics. And remember, this is where humans are choosing the mates, or they're taking the pollen and the seed from different plants and choosing that way. So this is not happening in nature. This is with domestic plants and animals. Number 9, why do humans selectively breed dogs? And why we do that is for desired traits. Remember in the video, originally it was to help humans with their various tasks, hunting, things like that. But nowadays we do it for like cuteness and no shedding. We don't want our dogs to shed, etc. And you can hear my dogs in the background as we are talking about dogs. Okay, number 10 through 13. Describe the adaptation for each dog at the table. Why are these adaptations important for the dogs to survive in their environment? So I gave you some of the history of the dogs in here that I looked up. So the Great Dane was originally bred to hunt wild boar and other wild animals. So animals that were bigger, because if you look at the size. So Great Danes, their size, athleticness, their muscular body, and gentle personality is what they're known for. And what it does is it helps people, they help people hunt. Nowadays, again, our dogs don't do much other than bark in the yard and lay around the house. So we are not necessarily using dogs for what we were breeding for back when we had pioneers. They're kind of living a cushy life. But originally, Great Danes were to help people hunt. Okay, the next one, and I'm going to say it probably wrong. Some people call it the Sammy dog, I guess, a Samoyed, was originally bred for working alongside locals in some of the coldest environments. So originally that's why they were bred. So their adaptation is the fur to help live in cold environments. So their fur helps them to live in cold environment. I'm going to change it. And I'm going to say here, I'm going to add that size. Okay. The Dachshund, the weenie dog, it has short legs. It keeps them low to the ground to attract scents. And their narrow bodies allow them to crawl in burrows looking for badgers. So that was their original purpose. They were to help track things, rodent like creatures, and dig in burrows or holes. So help people hunt for rodents that live in burrows. And remember, it's because they have short short legs, narrow body. Okay, the beagles have a keen sense of smell, means that they can track other animals. So they are a hunting dog also, but they can really smell really well. It also means that they're excellent hunting companions. They often use them to hunt rabbits and different things. You might have saw a movie or something with beagles in London, and that's where I've seen them in video movies or something. So their smell, good smell, helps. people hunt. Okay. And they're also good at not destroying the prey when they catch the rabbit. So they are really gentle to not puncture the rabbit too much so that they were able to eat them for meat, or the people are able to eat them for meat. Okay, let's move on to number 14. What adaptation of plants attract pollinators? Things like nectar, color, and the fragrance of the flower. Okay. Number 15, why do some people have bulb roots? Or, I'm sorry, why do some plants have bulb roots? Why is this considered an adaptation? Remember, the bulb is large in its globe-shaped seed, where plants has nutrients stored and allows the plant to survive underground in the wintertime. We talked about some examples being onions and tulips and different other plants, but it allows them to live underground through the wintertime. It also allows the size of it, it cannot be carried very easily by animals. Now, number 16 is talking about a different adaptation. Why do some plants produce stickers or burr seeds as an adaptation? Remember, the burrs are meant to stick to animals so that the animal carries the seed to different areas, different locations. Okay, number 17. What is a dichotomous key used for? Again, this was from your vocab list, a tool used to identify species of organisms using observable characteristics. 18, you're supposed to use the picture above. It says, which leaf is a jagged tooth margin? Remember, jagged is like the rough, like there's something with rough teeth ate it. And it's the first leaf, leaf 1, or the I. Which leaf has oval leaflets? Oval means not quite circular, right? We all know what that looks like. And then leaflets, remember, is anything that has multiple leaves on one stem. So this one and this one would be considered leaflets, but this is the only one with the oval shape. Okay, 20. You were supposed to use the review the dichotomous key, and it says, according to the diagram above, which type of leaf margin does this one have? So we're looking for a leaf margin. So I looked at the leaf. This is my steps. And I looked up where I saw margin, right? And you don't see leaf margin anywhere else but in 6A and 6B. And it said tooth or untooth. And then it also said with tooth, it said jagged, untooth, it said smooth. And that definitely explained this leaf right here. I would also look over this dichotomous key before your test because we cut and paste this dichotomous key and these leaves from your test. So this specifically, this key and leaf pictures will be asked, there will be different questions asked of you on the test, but they will use this exact dichotomous key and these exact leaves. Okay, so you might want to study them and figure out which leaf is which. Um, that might make your test easier on test day. Okay, number 21. Again, we cut this dichotomous key out of the test and we cut this insect out of the test. So you might want to review this key and this bug and see if you're struggling with how I got to this. I put the steps here. But let's go through it. So first, you're supposed to figure out its name. So you start at step 1A and 1B. You always start at 1. Okay, so I read it. It said 1 pair of wings or 2 pairs of wings. So if I look at it, it has 4 wings. So that's 2 pairs of wings. So I went from 1B to 3. When I got down to 3A and 3B, I read through them. Front and hind wings have similar texture, or front and hind wings do not have similar texture. Okay, so texture meaning how it looks. And they look the same to me as far as they both have the lines on them. So I said front and hind wings have similar texture, so I went to 4. So 4A, 4B. Front and hind wings similar in size and shape. And then the next one says front and hind wings not similar in size and shape. Well, they look very similar to me, so I said they should be similar. So I went to front and hind wings. I went to 5. Okay. And then from 5, antennae short and bristly. Well, looking at them, they do not look short to me. So I said 5B, they are not short and bristly, and that's where I got the name. Okay, again, I would study this key, that insect, and then I would study this key again.